Welcome back to Midday. We're joined by Taylor Ray from Volunteer Kamloops. She's the Link Program Coordinator for Volunteer Kamloops, and we welcome you back to the show.
Thank you for having me.
We love having you on the show, Taylor, to talk lots and lots about the programs you guys run. But today we're specifically talking about National Volunteer Week, which is huge.
It's very, very exciting. We're seeing a lot of people on social media talking about National Volunteer Week and highlighting their volunteers. So that's something that we really like to see. We like to see volunteer recognition year-round, of course, because they do so much for our community. But it's really nice to have all of these wonderful stories about local and national volunteers being a part of our community and making Kamloops and Canada a better place.
And it is so important. I mean, you just said it. Recognizing volunteers year-round is really something that we should be doing. But to have them this week dedicated specifically to them, I mean, what's the importance behind that? How significant is that?
I think it's really significant because a lot of the times, some of the questions that people pose to me when they're volunteering is, I don't see my larger impact in the greater scheme of things, or I want to make a difference. So having National Volunteer Week and highlighting like small categories, like the Salvation Army, for example, they said they've had so many volunteers donating so many volunteer hours over the year across Canada, which has made their food programs possible to feed lots of people in need and of lower incomes and family and children. So small acts of kindness, even if it's going out for a special event or doing something on a weekly or monthly basis, those things add up to large-scale programs and activities that help a lot of different communities across our country.
Absolutely. We have some pictures that we want to show, and I want to speak specifically to some of these because I know that you designed some of these, Taylor.
Yes. The one on screen right now, the volunteer factor, that's actually from Volunteer Canada. So we're talking about volunteers being the volunteer factor and how they lift up our community, which is why there's the hot air balloons.
I love that.
So they wanted to have lots of stories and pictures of volunteers going together to show all these little people doing smaller things to making a big impact, which is elevating our communities.
Yeah, and this one is just, I mean, it says it all. Thank you.
Yeah,
right?
that one's Volunteer Canada as well, that did that one.
Let's go to the next one because I think some of these ones are potentially yours, right?
Yeah, these are pull quotes. So this one's Brian O'Connell, but it's just kind of talking about what volunteerism does. Like it does show our national character and our compassion for people in the community. So it's just lots of little things, big impacts. Right?
Let's talk about, I mean, this is great. Volunteers are love in motion. That's so great. I love that. We talk a lot about sort of giving back to specific organizations, different, you know, companies or not-for-profits that you have that need volunteers or different events that come up. But what would you say it actually does for the person who's volunteering?
Oh, it can do so much. Lots of people come in for work experience or trying to build community connections, meeting people, gaining skills. Some people have actually come and said they've lived in Kamloops for a number of years and have had difficulty making friends because they're not sure where to find people their own age, or they're here in school from abroad. So it's a way to connect with your peers and with people that have similar interests. It's also, you can test like the waters of an industry if you're thinking about getting into that, and then improving language skills. It's so broad.
There's so many things.
Volunteerism does so much.
Is there lots of opportunity right now, Taylor?
Oh, so much. We've got so many special events upcoming. MS Walk, Alzheimer's Walk, the Therapeutic Riding Association, for example, starting up their rides again. Spring, summer's usually high activity for them. Even us at Volunteer Kamloops, we're looking for volunteers.
You need volunteers.
Yeah, our board of directors, for example, we have office volunteers. So there's lots of different ways to get involved in the community.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for being on the show today.
I love
really
being
appreciate
here.
that. We appreciate you being here. We love having you here. There's the information on the bottom of the screen if you'd like to find out more about how you can help out in the community volunteering here in Kamloops. There's so many opportunities to do so. We're back in 2 minutes on Midday. Stay with us.